Welcome back to Healing Gardens. My name is Kim, and I am so thankful you're here sharing this gardening journey with me. Since the last tour, which was 2 weeks ago, the garden has at least doubled, maybe tripled in size. My seedlings have taken off like crazy. We've gotten some light rains that really helped everything. And so we're going to take you along for this journey. I appreciate y'all, and let's get right into it. We're going to be planting plants, doing some transplants, and we're going to do this pot first, and then I think we'll move over to the green stalk, and then we have some seeds to plant as well. So let's get going. So we've got this soil, it's kind of gone down over the year. And so I've got some new soil to put on top. I'm probably going to put in some rabbit manure. These I just put in here temporarily because I was going away for several days and I didn't want them to be unhappy. But look at already the roots that they've put on. I didn't even untie them from each other. I just stuck them in here. So we're going to replant those separate. We've also got some mustard greens that I want to get a really good harvest this year and can my own greens with my own seasoning. I do not like store-bought canned greens. So these are things that we planted, winter sowed, that did not sprout, or they sprouted and died. I'm not really sure which, but we're going to use that soil. This is just a pot of something dead, so we're going to use that soil. And then this is a tray that I'm done with, but I just noticed I have a couple sprouts. So I'm going to have to move those to another pot, and that way they will be able to continue growing. And then I'm just going to use the rest of this soil. And I believe this is Gumfrina. I've already pulled some out, so it's okay. We'll see if we can keep these alive. And I've got some Gumfrina planted up in pots. So we just reuse all the soil. This is just Pro Mix with a little bit of fertilizer. Those I'll leave out in the rain to get washed. And there. And I'll be right back with some rabbit manure. So we have an endless supply of rabbit manure here. I have 2 bunnies, and although I've tried to get rid of them, I haven't had any takers, and so I just keep using this manure. I got a new bag of Pro Mix, which I found my favorite one. I order it online and have it delivered to Ace Hardware in Denton, and they are really good about doing online orders. Very helpful. The big bag is twice as big as the red bag, and it's twice as much money exactly. I used to buy this blue and pink bag in Lubbock. As you can see, this is very dry. Very dry. So we're going to get that in, and then we are going to water it real well, and then we'll put our plants in and we'll water those in as well. And it rained pretty decent yesterday, so I have about 10 gallons of rainwater. So from all my different drip areas, and so that'll be a good start for the plants that we're going to put in here. I'm going to pack in these mustard greens because they don't mind, and that will shade the soil, keep the soil cool, and keep the plants happy. You can kind of see in the background over here, my garlic chives are doing amazing, amazing. I really thought that I did them in when I chopped them apart last year, but they're very happy. I'm probably going to pot up some of those as well to take to market. We're having a plant sale at our market, so something to look forward to. I don't have as many plants as I normally do. This time of the year, I normally have like big, beautiful tomato plants. I planted my tomatoes kind of early, and they have not done anything at all. They're just barely getting their second set of true leaves. So I'm going to pop those up. Pretty warm day. I would say it's probably not even 70 yet, but perfect day to work in the garden. Mustard plants get huge. So I'm thinking I can put, this many in here. And they will be just fine. Don't know if I need all the tags in here. Probably just one. See, they've got good roots. Of course, they got rained on yesterday, so they are very well watered. We didn't get a gully washer like I was hoping for. I was really thinking, let's go ahead and get 2 or 3 inches, But that's okay. They're actually calling for more rain at the end of the week. So there is no perfect way of doing this. You can see the roots coming out the bottom. So they're definitely ready to get in the ground or in this big soil. This particular Pro Mix has mycorrhiza and a little bit of fertilizer already. So there's no need for me to add anything to this top layer of Pro Mix. Like I said, when these plants put their roots down just a little bit, they're going to hit that rabbit manure and they'll be pretty happy about it, actually. But these are very healthy plants, and I'm really pleased with this. These I'm going to pinch off because that is 3 plants in one, and we don't need that. One good plant is plenty per space. Sometimes it's hard to rip those out, but I'm actually going to eat those today because I've got to trim out my what do I have to trim out? My broccoli rabe, rapini, and kohlrabi, and all those are edible greens. So we're going to trim those out, and we're going to have that for dinner. And I'll just cook that a little bit with some onion and a generous amount of bacon grease and call it good. All right. So there's those, all happily planted. And then we have these leeks. And I bought a bundle. You can see this bundle for $2 at the market. And then the lady threw in a couple extra bundles because, well, she was generous and it was the end of the market. She wanted to get rid of them. She didn't want to take them home and plant them again. So I didn't ask for a deal, but it doesn't hurt to ask for a deal. At the end of the market, there's always an opportunity to get a deal. But see, those are pretty healthy. And we are going to put those as deep as we can. And we're not even going to fill them in. We're going to let the water fill them in. Okay? So I don't even know what kind of things these are. I'm going to ask her when I go back to the market next week because I'd like to know what this is. If this is something she's been growing a while. And this is what they did. They just dropped them in the hole pretty deep. You let the water fill in over time. And that is how you get a nice long white leek. Now, and I'm kind of twirling it to make sure the roots get down in there. And yeah, we just made a mess of our plants with that soil popping up everywhere. And I don't know, is this the wrong time or right time of the year for leeks? I don't know, but all I know is they were $2, and to me, it is worth a shot to try because I love leeks. And I think my sister likes leeks, so if we get a decent harvest, I'll dehydrate some, but then I'll probably also share with my sister. I like leeks and shallots and onions and garlic and all the alliums. Any of the alliums, you can definitely count me in on that. Let's see. Another benefit of these leeks in with my mustard greens is that it will help repel pests, because pests do not like alliums generally. Now, that doesn't count grasshoppers. Grasshoppers will eat anything. I think they would even eat metal if they thought they could get away with it. So there, I feel like that's going to be enough. Or maybe one in here. I do need a different dibbler type thing because now look at my handle. So, all right, well, we'll get some water these in, and then we're going to move over to the green stalk. There's the green stalk. First thing I want to do is trim that old stuff out of there. Let me go get my scissors. You know, once a leaf or part of the plant starts dying, the plant sends a lot of energy into that leaf to keep it alive. And I don't want my plant's energy going into see all that dead stuff. This is last year's mess. I wanted them to get established before I started trimming on them. Sometimes when you trim on them, it shocks them a little bit, and I just thought it'd be better to wait. And they seem pretty happy. They seem like they're doing pretty good. Got some spinach in here. So I feel like a spinach strawberry salad is in my future. This is a type of broccoli, and that looks like dill. I planted dill everywhere. Just random because I wanted it. And these long stringy things that are just in random pockets, I don't know what they are, except for maybe some kind of chive. I really don't know. Here we have an empty pocket. I'm going to drop you down so you can see it. This one. So we're going to put some collards in there. A friend of mine at Lubbock Market so sweet. One of my favorite people. And he gave me this 6-pack of things that he's growing. Look at that. Growing and selling. And he just wanted to bless me with this. So I'm going to go get a couple cups full of soil. One thing I love about the green stalk system is that the excess water drains out the bottom. I'm going to get a pencil and mark this. That way I know what that is. I have gotten my collards and my kales mixed up before. So this way I won't get those mixed up again. All right, let's put one in here. Can you see that? Yeah. Let's do that. And I'm going to have a couple kale and a couple of basil also in this planting. Don't really need to dig a hole. I just need to fill in. My neighbors took very good care of the garden while I was gone. I was so thankful because occasionally I have gotten a person that doesn't really understand watering plants and they'll overwater, and I've lost lots of plants taking vacations. So it was nice to come home and see everything growing like gangbusters over here. They're very happy and should be getting some good harvest pretty soon. Okay, let's see what else we got. This pocket down here needs something because that is not a viable plant. And this is kale, which is kind of fiddly. Whoops, that was not the intention. I think we'll plant the lemon basil down here out of sight. Is overseeded, and that happens a lot when I'm seeding because I don't really pay attention. I'm not a perfectionist seeder. So we've got quite a few lemon basil right there, and I'm just going to pop some of those out and move them right here. Get some of these little darlings, and it's going to be a chunk. I'm just going to take a chunk because I don't want to try to separate individually. So there. I'm going to plant another basil. We need a lot of basil for our market, so it's not going to hurt my feelings to have extra. And I like to, I found out last year that I like to put it in my water. And so, especially that lemon basil is so yummy in water. So if I have a lot, then I won't feel bad about pinching it off and putting some in my water every day. Okay. All right. I've got another pocket here. Let's see if we can get this tilted right here. So I'm going to go find something to put in there. We'll just pop that little guy in there. Look at that. The more soil you have in your green stalk, the better. There. I like that. Now that's a Cracker Jack. I'm not even sure what color it is, but I like marigolds and pollinators like marigolds, so we'll just keep going with that. All right, the first 3 layers are completely done. Number 4 is completely done. That one, I don't know. I can't say that I'm impressed with one stringy thing coming up. This says stevia, and that doesn't say anything. So I don't know what stevia looks like when it comes up. So there. So that's that. I've got quite a few more herbs, and I think I'm going to make them their own container. The soil is very low in there, so we're going to get some more soil and get that filled up. We've got some winter sown containers that did not germinate. We will add those to the mix. Yeah, this was supposed to be roselle. It never germinated. Don't remember what that was. It didn't germinate. And there. Those didn't germinate. Now, add our rabbit manure. This is some of our pine fibers. And we'll shred that down. And that will help with moisture retention. This pot didn't do well last year because I put some kind of local compost soil in here that was supposed to be so wonderful, and it wasn't. And so never had great success in this pot, but I took half the soil out, and now we're going to top it off with Pro Mix, and it will do much better this year. There. One more can full. Now that is going to be a good, healthy start for all of these herbs. This area is in part shade, which I don't think my herbs will mind. So we have sage, we have thyme, we have lemon thyme, we have oregano, we have rosemary, and I have cilantro. What do you think? That seems like a lot. So I might dump the cilantro here. Is that cilantro or parsley? Definitely cilantro. So that I want in there. And sage I want in here. And oregano, but I'm thinking rosemary. I might give him his own pot because they like to stay a little drier than the other herbs. That way I can kind of monitor better. So, like that. Does that look good? And again, we put a rabbit manure and the Pro Mix out of the pink, and look at that. Trying to escape the pot. We're going to have to rip those open just a little bit. Just a little bit. And that way they will be happy, happy, happy in their new soil. I've got to come back with some kind of mulch. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use this year. My mower's not working. Normally I would bag grass and use the grass clippings. I let them lay out and dry out and then put them in the plants. But my mower hasn't worked in a couple of years. So look at this. Roots escaping the bottom. Okay. Oh my. I have a feeling these guys are going to take off like crazy once they get in their new home and get their feet settled. And that's oregano. A lot of these I use for my herb, well, all of these I use for my herb blends. So, even though I have one oregano plant, I'll probably end up getting about 4 more before spring is over. Yeah, this is cilantro. Okay, good. I mean, I knew it was because it tasted like it. But there was a parsley tag in there, and I couldn't imagine that it was parsley. But that must have fallen in from another container. No big deal. I don't know how cilantro likes to be transplanted, but I tried not to mess with them too much. We'll get them watered in really good. And I need to drill some more holes in this pot. I noticed it doesn't have a bunch on the side like most of my pots do. Well, that video just cut off because I ran out of space on my phone, and I just found that video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just planting up the garden. That was shot on March 29th. So the next video is going to be a garden tour, and I know you'll appreciate seeing the difference in 1 month, what the green stalk looks like and the rest of the garden. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for coming along on this journey. Bye-bye.